I never planned to bring my boss home, especially not at midnight, especially not in the rain, and definitely not while she could barely stand. The night started like any other, too long, too loud, and too full of people pretending they weren't exhausted. The company's year-end dinner was supposed to be celebratory. Instead, it felt like a performance. Laughter too loud, smiles too practiced, power wrapped in polished suits and champagne glasses. She stood out the most. My boss, cold, untouchable, perfect posture, perfect control. At least she was, until she wasn't. I noticed it when she stood up too fast. The slight sway, the way her hand gripped the edge of the table just a second longer than necessary. No one else seemed to care. No one ever really looked at her, only at what she represented. But I did, because when you're a single dad, you learn to notice small changes. You learn to read the room. You learn when someone is about to fall, even if they pretend they won't. The rain had started pouring by the time the dinner ended. People rushed to their cars, laughing, calling goodbyes. She walked alone toward the exit, heels clicking against the marble floor. Too fast, too unsteady. I followed. "Ma'am," I said, reaching her just as she stumbled. She turned sharply, eyes narrowing until they focused. "You," she said. My name sounded unfamiliar on her lips, like she rarely used it. I steadied her before she hit the ground. Her hand clutched my jacket instinctively. "I'm fine," she snapped, though her voice betrayed her. "You're not," I said quietly. For a moment I expected anger, a lecture, a threat. Instead she exhaled, slowly, heavily. "I can't drive," she admitted. Neither could I leave her there. Her driver wasn't answering. The rain had turned vicious, the kind that soaked you in seconds. She stood under the building awning, arms crossed tightly, hair sticking to her face. No longer the untouchable CEO, everyone feared. Just a woman trying not to fall apart in public. "My place is close," I said before I could stop myself. "You can sober up there." She looked at me. Really looked. "You're offering me your home?" she asked, incredulous. "I'm offering you safety," I replied. Silence. Then, after a long moment, she nodded. The drive was quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your chest. She stared out the window, rain tracing lines down the glass, city lights blurring into something softer. I kept my hands tight on the wheel. When we arrived, she hesitated at the door. "This isn't what I imagined," she said. I didn't ask what she meant. Inside, my apartment was small, clean, warm, toys neatly pushed to one corner, a child's drawing taped crookedly to the fridge, just a woman trying not to fall apart in public. "My place is close," I said before I could stop myself. "You can sober up there." She looked at me. Really looked. "You're offering me your home?" she asked, incredulous. "I'm offering you safety," I replied. Silence. Then, after a long moment, she nodded. The drive was quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your chest. She stared out the window, rain tracing lines down the glass, city lights blurring into something softer. I kept my hands tight on the wheel. When we arrived, she hesitated at the door. "This isn't what I imagined," she said. I didn't ask what she meant. Inside, my apartment was small, clean, warm, toys neatly pushed to one corner, a child's drawing taped crookedly to the fridge. Her expression shifted, not pity. Something else, something unreadable. I offered her water. She took it. I gave her a blanket. She hesitated, then accepted. "I'll sleep on the couch," I said. She frowned. "You don't have a guest room?" I smiled faintly. "I barely have a couch." She watched me lay down, adjusting the thin blanket, turning my back to give her space. The room fell quiet. Minutes passed. "Then, why are you sleeping there?" Her voice cut through the dark. I turned slightly. She was standing in the doorway of the bedroom, hair loose now, makeup gone, eyes sharp despite the alcohol. "Because it's appropriate," I said. She crossed her arms. "You brought me home. You helped me. And now you exile yourself to the couch." "I'm your employee," I replied. "And a guest doesn't take a bed meant for someone else." Her gaze lingered on me longer than it should have. "That's rare," she said. "So is trust," I answered. She didn't respond right away. Instead, she stepped back, closing the bedroom door softly. Sleep didn't come easily. My mind replayed everything, her unguarded moments, the way her voice softened. The question she asked that felt heavier than it sounded. "Why are you sleeping there?" "Because lines matter. Because respect matters. Because my daughter matters." Morning came too fast. Sunlight crept through the blinds. I sat up, rubbing my face, bracing myself for awkwardness, for consequences. The bedroom door opened. She stepped out, changed, composed, every inch the CEO again. But something was different. She looked at me. Not through me, at me. Her gaze lingered, traveled, stayed. It wasn't professional. Not curious, not cold. It was searching. You didn't touch me, she said suddenly. No, I replied. You didn't try anything. No. She nodded slowly, as if confirming something to herself. Thank you, she said, not as my boss, but as a woman who had been vulnerable and seen. Then she picked up her coat. I'll see you at work. The door closed behind her, and I knew whatever had started that night wasn't over. It was just beginning. The office felt different the moment I walked in. Same glass walls, same polished floors, same hum of keyboards and quiet ambition, but the air between us had changed. I felt it before I saw her. When you spend your life reading a child's moods, when she's about to cry, when she's pretending she's okay, you develop a sixth sense. And that morning, every instinct in me was alert. She was already there, standing at the glass wall of her office, arms crossed, looking out over the city like nothing could touch her. Perfect hair, tailored suit, high heels clicking softly against the floor. The CEO was back. Yet when her eyes met mine, she didn't look away. Not immediately, not professionally, just long enough for something dangerous to pass between us. Then she turned, sharp and composed, and walked into her office. I exhaled slowly. Okay, I muttered to myself. Get through the day. Easier said than done. At 10 sharp, her assistant announced a meeting. Mandatory, department heads only. And me, that alone sent whispers down the hallway. Inside the boardroom, she stood at the head of the table, commanding attention effortlessly. Her voice was cool, controlled, exactly as it should be. But every time she spoke, her eyes found me. Not accusing, not flirty, observing, as if she was still trying to understand the man who slept on the couch while she took the bed. After the meeting, she stopped me. Stay. The room emptied. The door closed. Silence. She walked toward me slowly, heels measured, posture straight. Then she stopped, just far enough to respect distance, just close enough to feel heavy. You didn't tell anyone, she said. No, I replied. You could have. I won't. Her jaw tightened slightly. Why? I met her gaze. Because it wasn't my story to tell. Something flickered in her eyes then. Something warm. Something unsettled. You're different from what I expected, she said. I smiled faintly. You don't know much about me. That's what bothers me. That should have been my cue to step back. Instead, I asked, Are you okay? She hesitated. Just a second. Yes, she said finally. I am now. The rest of the day passed in stolen glances and quiet restraint. Emails came through. Tasks were assigned. Life went on. But beneath it all, something pulsed, unspoken, unresolved. That evening, I picked up my daughter from my neighbor's place. She ran into my arms like she always did, chattering about school and drawings and how she'd learned a new song. As I tucked her into bed, she looked at me seriously. Daddy, she said, you look nervous. I smiled softly. Just tired. She reached out and touched my face. You're a good man. I swallowed hard. Children see everything. The next day, rumors started. Not about us, about her. She's been different, someone whispered near the coffee machine. More human, another said. I stayed quiet. Then, late in the afternoon, I got a message. CEO, come to my office, now. My chest tightened. Inside, she stood by the window again. This time, she didn't turn right away. Do you regret it? She asked. Regret what? Helping me. I shook my head. No, even if it complicates things. I've lived with complications for years, I said. One more won't break me. She finally faced me. You slept on that couch because of boundaries, she said softly. Because you respected me. Yes, no one has done that for me in a long time. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. She nodded once, as if making a decision. Nothing happened, she said firmly. And nothing inappropriate will. I relaxed, just slightly. But, she continued, things will not be the same. I met her gaze. I wouldn't expect them to be. There it was again. That look, the one that wasn't professional. That night, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her. Did you sleep on the couch again? I stared at the screen. Then typed back. Me, yes. 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Her. Next time don't. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Because some lines aren't crossed in words. They're crossed in silence. And I knew the hardest part wasn't resisting her. It was resisting what was already changing inside both of us. Didn't see her for 3 days. No meetings, no messages, no lingering looks across glass walls. Just silence. The kind that doesn't calm you, it tightens. Every step through the office felt heavier, like I was walking through something unfinished. I told myself it was for the best. Distance meant safety. Distance meant clarity. But clarity is a lie you tell yourself when feelings refuse to behave. On the fourth day, I was called into her office again. No message this time, no warning. Just her assistant standing at my desk with a polite smile that didn't reach her eyes. She wants to see you now. The walk to her office felt longer than usual. Every memory replayed itself. The rain, the couch, the question, the look the next morning. I knocked once. Come in. She was sitting, not standing. Jacket off. Sleeves rolled up. No heels, just bare feet resting lightly on the carpet. That alone told me this wasn't a normal conversation. You're late, she said. I came as soon as I was called. She studied me. Really studied me. Like she was measuring something invisible. Sit. I did. She leaned forward, elbows on the desk, hands clasped. The power was still there, but something else sat beside it now. Vulnerability. I haven't slept, she said quietly. I said nothing. I keep thinking about that night, she continued. Not because of what almost happened, but because of what didn't. My chest tightened. No one ever chose restraint with me, she said. People choose advantage, opportunity, leverage. I chose respect, I replied. Her lips pressed together. She nodded once. That's exactly the problem. She stood and walked to the window, staring out at the city. I've built my life on control, she said, on never needing anyone. And then one night, I couldn't even stand on my own. She turned back to me, and the man who helped me slept on the couch. Silence filled the room. I need to know something, she said. And I need the truth. Ask. Did you want to come into that bedroom? The question hit harder than anything else. Yes, I said honestly. But wanting something doesn't mean taking it. Her breath caught, just slightly. I've been surrounded by powerful men my whole life, she said. They all wanted something. You wanted boundaries. I wanted you to feel safe. Her eyes softened. That's when the knock came. Her assistant. Sorry to interrupt, she said carefully. But the board is here. The moment shattered. She straightened instantly, mask snapping back into place. Heels were back on in seconds. The CEO returned. But as I stood to leave, she stopped me. Tonight, she said quietly. After work, come by. My heart thudded. Why? She met my eyes. Because I don't want silence anymore. That evening, I stood outside her building, hands shoved deep into my pockets. This time, I wasn't rescuing her from a storm. I was walking into one. She opened the door herself. No suit, no armor. Just a soft sweater, hair loose, eyes bare. You came, she said. I said I would. Inside, her apartment was immaculate and lonely. No photos, no warmth. Just space. She poured tea. I declined. I've thought about your daughter, she said suddenly. I stiffened. She told me you're a good man, I said carefully. She's right. She set the cup down. I can't do this halfway, she said. And I won't hide behind titles. I won't be a secret, I said. Good, she replied. Because I won't ask you to be. She stepped closer, not too close. I don't want control with you, she said. I want honesty, choice, and consequences, I added. She nodded. Especially those. I thought of my daughter, her small hand on my face, her quiet wisdom. I won't cross a line that costs her stability, I said. I wouldn't respect you if you did. We stood there, tension humming, not rushed, not reckless. Then she smiled. Not sharp, not powerful, real. You still sleep on the couch? She asked softly. I chuckled. Only when it matters. She shook her head. Tonight it doesn't. I didn't move. She noticed and smiled wider. Still respecting me? Always. She reached for my hand. Then come sit, she said. Not because you owe me, but because you choose to. I did. And for the first time in a long time, neither of us felt alone. The next morning, the office buzzed louder than usual. Whispers, looks, curiosity. But nothing scandalous happened. No favoritism, no secrets. Just a CEO who walked a little slower, and a single dad who walked a little taller. That night, my daughter asked, Daddy, are you happy? I smiled. I'm getting there. She hugged me tightly. Good. And as I tucked her in, I realized something simple and powerful. I didn't save my boss that night. I showed her how to stop standing alone. And she reminded me that sometimes, even the strongest people just want someone who knows when to sleep on the couch and when to sit beside them.